Hey guys, this is my 2017 fully electric BMW i3 and these are my 5 pros and cons. Okay, so before we start with the cons, some of the things that I may think of as a negative, you might think of as a positive, and some of the things that I think are a good thing, you may think of as a negative, so it will depend on your personal circumstances. So, con number 1, the range. Now my 94 amp hour model has a real world range of about 124 miles per full charge, which takes about 12 hours on a normal 3-pin main socket and about 30 minutes on a motorway fast charger. The newest 120 amp hour model has a real world range of about 160 miles, which is an improvement, but I wouldn't say it was good enough to compete in the fast evolving electric car market. Also note that this range is only if you're driving nicely, so I personally only get about 110 to 120 miles per full charge. So I've had this car for 3 years, drove about 42,000 miles. I do a daily commute of about 40 miles a day on average. I've also done a fair few long distance trips over the past few years. So day to day, as my commute is only about 40 miles a day, the range never really becomes an issue. It only becomes an issue when you're travelling more than about 100 miles. So if you are travelling more than 100 miles a day, I wouldn't recommend the i3. I will quickly tell you about a trip to London we had, which range anxiety definitely became an issue. So we live in the northwest of England, so London is about a 440 mile round trip. So we decided to stop 6 times in total. So during one of the stops at our motorway service stations, we plugged in at the charger, went onto the app, basically error came up, wouldn't charge. So we moved the car over to the next charger that was next to it, plugged in again, same thing, exactly the same thing happened again. So we decided to go all the way over to the other side of the motorway, and guess what?
The same thing happened again!
So we had to find the nearest charger from there, which was about 10 miles away, and we only had about 15 miles left on the clock, which, as you can imagine, we'd just been to London, we were on our way back, we wanted to get home, we were tired. It wasn't the best experience, but we did make it home in the end. Now this is only one of few problems we've had with the range, but I thought it was worth mentioning anyway. Con number 2 is the wheels. BMW have chosen the narrow wheels for speed, in which the i3 definitely isn't lacking, which I'll come to later. But the issue is over mid-corner bumps. The car seems to kind of skip and lose its footing a bit. Also, because of the suspension, which is quite firm, you really feel the bumps in the i3. Con number 3 is rear passenger space. So I'm just over 6 foot, so I have the seat quite far back, as you can see. So when I have passengers in the back, they don't have a great deal of space, unless they're a child. So this isn't really an issue if you're mainly going to be having kids in the back. So what doesn't help is because of the way the doors close, you can't roll the rear window down, so back here can feel quite cramped. Con number 4 is the operating system. Okay, so this isn't a massive thing, but my main problem with BMW's iDrive system is just how it feels. So it just feels sort of outdated and old, and with technology where it's at, this system just doesn't feel like it belongs in the now. So you operate the menu using the dial. You also have some shortcut buttons, so menu, radio, media, telephone navigation. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. I just don't think it's where it needs to be at in 2020. Now, my last con is the coach doors. Now, this is definitely easier just to demonstrate. Okay, so now on to the pros. Pro number 1 has to be the acceleration. The i3 can go from 0 to 62 in 7.3 seconds, which actually sounds a lot slower than what it feels because of the instant torque you get as soon as you touch the pedal. The new i3s have actually cut that time down to 6.9 seconds, so leaving petrol and diesel cars behind at the lights can be hard to resist sometimes. Pro number 2 is the i3's beauty.
Now, admittedly, some people fail to see the i3's beauty. In fact, when I first seen the i3, I remember thinking, wow, that's ugly. But after learning more and more about the i3, I really started to think differently, and I soon fell in love with the i3's funky, modern, and downright weird style. Now, BMW have built the i3 from the ground up, and you can really see that in almost every aspect. From the shape of the body, to the full glass boot panel, to the coach doors, which, although not always the most practical, do look great when fully open, revealing the absence of the centre door pillar.
Pro number 3 is space and visibility. Because of all the i3's mechanical parts being under the boot in the back and below the main cabin, it means there's no gear train in the centre here, which really opens up a lot of space for foot room. You can also probably get a small bin down there. Although the rear passenger space isn't great, the i3 definitely makes up for it with the room up front. Being sat in the front in the i3 feels really spacious. You sit quite high up. This plus the big windscreen gives you great visibility. Pro number 4 is Regen braking, or one pedal driving. So when you bring your foot off the throttle, it actually starts to slow the car down, and it harvests that energy and feeds it back into the battery. It actually slows the car down so much that it turns on the brake lights without you even touching the brake pedal. You can actually control how much braking you want by how much you bring your foot off the pedal. So this can actually be quite fun. So if you time it just right, if you come up to lights, you can actually stop without touching the pedal, without touching the brake pedal. In fact, you can actually go a whole journey without ever touching the brake pedal. And pro number 5 is climate control. Now, picture the scene. You wake up to go to work, you look out your window, and the car's frozen over. So you get your big coat on, you get your scraper, you get your de-icer, and you trek out to the car and start scraping away. Well, not with the i3. So all you do is click Climatise Now, confirm, and within 15 minutes your car will be ice-free. You can also set up schedules, so when you go to charge and set climatization, you can set your departure time. You can set it for however many days of the week you'd like. So if you get up for work every day and you want your car to be heated up in the morning or cooled down in the summer. Okay, so a quick comment on battery deterioration. I know that one concern for a lot of people is how the battery deteriorates over time, but to be honest, after 3 years with the car, I haven't personally noticed any deterioration. Now I know there will be some, but it's not an amount that I've noticed. Okay, so to summarise, the i3 has some good features and some not so good features, but all in all, after 3 years, I can honestly say I love it. It's great fun to drive, it's practical for me, and I love the styling. But how much longer can the i3 remain relevant in the electric car market? We'll just have to wait and see. Do you have an i3? Do you agree with my pros and cons? Or are you looking to buy one and still have some concerns? Just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more electric car content. Goodbye.